Okay, this is check for understanding number 4. This goes with the point slope example package from last day. I think this is in the note package that I gave you. If not, turn to page 370 in your textbook. Turn to page 370 in your textbook if it's not in the note package, and make sure you write this down. So let's read the question. You can pause this, Mr. Ford, if they just need a minute to find it or to write it down, but it should be in that note package. It says write an equation for the line that passes through the point 2, -3 and is A, parallel to this line, and B, perpendicular to that line. So what would make a lot of sense is if we painted a picture of this situation on a graph. So I'm going to go ahead and label the point given 2, -3. That goes right here. Anytime you're trying to, figure out an equation, often making a graph of the situation helps people see what is needed to be done. So there's our point at 2, -3. That's called point S. I'll label that point S. Okay. There probably is graph paper at the back still if you need some. Okay, there's point S. Second thing it says, the line that we're trying to find, the equation we're trying to find, travels through this point, and part A is parallel, I'll highlight that, parallel to this line, 3x plus 5. So it would make sense if we graphed that line, 3x plus 5. So that line, 3x plus 5, has a y-intercept of 5 and a slope of 3, because notice it's in slope-intercept form. So the slope is 3, y-intercept is 5. So I'm going to go to 5, right there, and I'm going to draw a line now that has a slope of 3. So it goes up 3 over 1. Let me just fine-tune this here. Let's draw that. Now let's check this out. Is the line that I've drawn, does it travel through y-intercept of 5? Definitely. Okay, so that part's fine. Then it says here it must have 3 as a slope. Let's just double check. Here's a point here. If I go up 3 over 1, I know that I have that slope of 3 satisfied. Okay, but that's not the line we need. The line we need is parallel to this line that travels through this point. So let's draw a line that travels through this point that has a slope of 3 as well. There goes. There goes nothing. Okay, let's see what we got here. Get my pen out. Once again, the line looks parallel to this line. Let's just double check its slope. Does it go up 3? Up 1, 2, 3. Whoops, I went a little bit too far there. Let's get the eraser out. Does it go up 3 over 1? Up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Okay, so that's the line whose equation I'm trying to find. And we're trying to find the equation of that line in point-slope form once again. So let's pull out that formula. So notice we're given a point and a slope. So here is the point-slope formula as we know it, and let's plug in what we know. We know we have variable y, and we know the y value given is -3. So it's y subtract a -3 equals the slope. We're given that as well because remember the slope of this line is parallel to this line. So the slope as we were given is 3. Bracket x minus the x value at the point given was 2. So let's simplify that and we get y plus 3 equals 3 bracket x minus 2. So that's the equation of that line in point-slope form. If you were ever asked To now convert this to slope-intercept form, well, let's just do that for practice here, even though it's not being asked. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals m slope plus b slope-intercept. Well, notice that the point slope form has a y plus 3 on the right side and a 3 times x minus 2 on the right side. So what would make sense to change its form would be to distribute the 3 on the right and get 3x minus 6. Okay, and now we need to isolate y, so we'll subtract 3 from both sides. Y equals positive 3 subtract 3, positive 3 subtract 3, equals 3x minus 6. And since we subtracted 3 from the left-hand side, we have to subtract 3 from the right-hand side, thus giving us y equals, well, 3 minus 3 cancels, so 0 on the left equals 3x minus 9. So let's just take a look at this line for a second that we drew. Would you agree that the y-intercept, if this y-axis was continued, would it make sense that they'd intersect at the y-intercept of minus 9? I'd say definitely. Okay, so we know that we're in the correct ballpark as far as our equation. Okay, so we know we got the question right in part A. Now let's go to part B. In part B it says that our line travels through the same point, 2, negative 3, but it's perpendicular to this 3x plus 5 line. So we'll need to get rid of this line because that's not the line anymore. I'll leave point S where it is because that is still point S. And let's redraw a line now that's perpendicular to the line that was given. Well, remember from our work in section 6.1, 6.2 on perpendicular lines, what is the relationship between a slope and a slope that is perpendicular to it? So if we know the slope of one line is 3 over 1, what would its negative reciprocal be? Well, its negative reciprocal, or opposite reciprocal as we call it, would be negative 1. You flip the fraction over 3 and you take its opposite sign. So 3 over 1 and negative 1 over 3 are what we call opposite reciprocals. And those two slopes are opposite reciprocals, which means that they are perpendicular to one another. So let's graph a line now with a slope of negative 1 over 3 that travels through that point S. So negative 1 over 3. So we go down 1 over 1, 2, 3. There we go. And negatively sloped lines go up to the left. So it's 1 over 3. Let's just double check that. I'm going to count with my cursor. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And they definitely seem to meet at right angles right here. So I'll even draw in those right angles. Okay. And now for the most important part, to come up with the equation of that line. So we do the same thing as what we did with the parallel lines. So let me just get this going here. Whoops. What am I doing here? Okay, so the same formula, obviously. So it's y take away y1. It's the same point. So y1 is, again, negative 3 equals m. M in this case, the opposite reciprocal slope is a negative 1 over 3. And x, take away the x value at that point, s is 2. So there is our slope point formula version of the equation of that line. And since they didn't state what version they wanted for the equation of the line, we can just leave our answer like that. But it would definitely be good to say, since we have a double negative on the left-hand side, let's change it to y plus 3 equals negative 1/3, negative 1/3 times x minus 2. Okay, I'm going to put the entire solution up here so you can take a look. And that's example 4. Check for understanding. Okay, so you should now be ready to finish assignment 6.5, as Mr. Ford will let you know what that is right away. Thank you very much.